Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. All board members are present. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there's one change to the agenda. We're taking off item 4C because Bobby couldn't be here tonight. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is accepted. I don't think we have anybody signed up for comments and concerns, so we'll move to reports. You have the personnel report in your packet. The next report is the treasurer's report. Any comments, questions? Okay. Then we'll move to item 4D. It is the calendar update. I think you have that in front of you tonight. Bobby may have emailed it too, I'm not sure, but that is a revision. The calendar committee met last week, so that is a revision of what we, the preliminary draft that we approved last year. It was revised mainly because of those. We had us ending on a Tuesday with graduation on a Tuesday night. When we adopted that calendar, we knew we would probably have to take another look at it, so the committee did and move some days around so that we can now end on June 4th. So, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just the biggest thing was the committee took a closer look, and with graduation typically on a Friday and considerate of families, even though we probably could have still had graduation on that Friday, you know how that works with school and the end of school. It would have been a very tough sell to get everybody to come back 2 days, even if your seniors are graduating. And at the same time, we wanted to keep the 175-day calendar because really we start to lose instructional days. It doesn't matter whether it's the last 2 days of school or the last 3. There's always a challenge regardless of what days those are. And I think the best solution was there to Excel week. There's opportunities. We know there could be potential for low attendance days, but we would definitely prepare, and that's in September, that would make that adjustment. And so otherwise, the only other adjustments were that they were going to have 5 half days instead of 6, and utilize those and actually take out the one in December just because the month is shorter, was kind of the reason for that movement.
Any questions? We have a couple of committee members here if anybody has questions or comments. So if you'll notice, we'll be in school September 28th and 29th, which was
correct
on the previous calendar. That whole week was Excel.
Okay.
And then, like Houston said, that we took off the December 16th half day.
I think we moved another half day up in May.
Yeah.
We moved it earlier in May, and then we made
Avoid testing.
both breaks Excel PEP break.
We flipped those,
Yeah.
those
on
2
the spring
weeks.
side,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Fall didn't
you're right,
change,
you're
but
right.
spring changed.
Oh, yeah. Made them back to back.
Right, we moved the May
Yeah.
15th up to May 5th. You're right.
And again, as we've been working through PEP and Excel, we've discovered some things. The intent was to have it actually the same week as county PEP because of more offerings. But what we've discovered is that we also lose some of our workers because they might have kids who leave. So it just makes sense to have it on the off weeks outside of count.
Plus,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
you know, the last PEP was really a huge undertaking, and I think staff was a little bit tired at the end of the week. So giving them the dead week after that is helpful
Yes.
for our staff.
I think from a parent perspective too, now that PEP has been revamped, I think it's no longer advantageous really to have them on the same week, because that lets parents,
Right.
there's not that completely dead week where there's
Correct.
nothing available. So.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
And this will come back to us. We have to do 2 readings, so tonight will serve as the first reading, and take it home, look over it a little more closely, and if anything comes up, we can discuss it second reading.
And we'll bring a tentative calendar as well, 21, 22, just for your, but again, we will still have to review that next year again, but just to
Right.
give you a heads up and let families kind of prepare
Bobby
their plans. Yeah.
presented one the other night that was just kind of a skeleton kind of calendar, but we didn't spend much time discussing it at all because we were
No.
trying to figure out this one. And I appreciate the calendar committee. Took a long time and
Yeah.
was very thoughtful in their discussion and trying to make it work for everybody, and I appreciate that. Okay, so we don't have to vote on it for first reading, but this will be
Yeah.
considered first reading. Okay, the next agenda item is SPGES updates from Dr. Barber.
Yeah, just want to highlight, had a great, I've got a superintendent student advisory council, and we meet once a month. And we met at actually Buddy's Pizza, and it was a great opportunity for them to kind of come together. It was loud. I mean, we worked through our process of how to make it work. But the students presented their service learning projects that they are required to do as part of the work that we're doing as a Superintendent's Advisory Council. And we have so many impressive projects that are taking place for this community that are real. One example is we had a young lady who recently had a drive for the Humane Society, and that was highly successful. Even got a newspaper mention. We've got one focused on bringing all together coherence to what's happening for activities and athletics for kids, so that all kids participate in something. So that's really been a unique experience. And just there's several. So it was just a powerful presentation. A lot of them want to make a difference in this community or in our school system, and they want to make sure that we have that opportunity to grow as a school system and make an impact. And the leaders on that team, my gosh, they're just really, and it's a good mix. They're just, and we've got some middle schoolers on there, we've got some high schoolers, so it's interesting to see how they interact. And they've been inclusive of how they respond to one another. But it was a powerful testament of what's happening in our schools and our school district. And so I look forward, they will be coming here. I'm going to invite them in May to give a presentation. We'll highlight some of the projects. You'll get to see all of them via just kind of a presentation I'll provide for you, but there'll be some that are selected to talk about what they actually did and how it took place and what impact it made. So just powerful. Loving my time. It's always awesome to spend time with students and to hear and I even have them break down, and I don't know if they get nervous, but I was like, how did I do? What should we do better? And most of them were like, I think there was one who was like, for the most part you did well, but there's a couple things I like to break down here. I was like, okay, I like to hear that. They know what kind of leader I am. I want to improve. But it was good that they had that faith to, or ability to want to say something like that. So, yeah, that's what I got to share.
Let's turn the recorder on. about that. Okay, the next agenda item is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda is approved. The next item is discussion and approval of the bid for demolition of Wilkinson Street School.
Well, we have finally arrived at this point. It's taken a while. We had several bids that came in, and this one had great references and has done some great work as far as we know, and we're excited about it. And it's a great bid, so I'm fully recommending that we take it and move forward with the demolition of the Wilkinson Street School.
Well, when it's expected to happen.
I think we approve it like next week, and they'll start. I know it sounds crazy, but very soon.
Do we have to have any permits, or are we exempted from that?
I think they'll file for whatever's needed, so I'm not sure, but I know that they'll take care of whatever requirements the business will, or the excavating company.
Did AirSource do a asbestos
They
check
did.
over there?
They
Okay.
did.
Anything unusual?
We paid for the survey, and the results were very little.
Not as much as we
Not as much as
thought.
we anticipated. Yeah.
Good.
So I think that's what led to the big changes and opportunities.
Any questions? Any discussion? Okay, is there a motion to accept the bid from Steve Hughes Excavating in the amount of $48,848 for demolition of Wilkinson Street School?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And the bid is accepted. Go to superintendent's
Can we start tomorrow?
Really?
Might look out that window next week. No, it's been a great several weeks. I'm excited to say our boys made a great run in the district play and ended up playing a team that is going to the state tournament. Surprisingly, Scott County made a great run, and they played as hard as well. So we ended up losing to the same team that's moved on, and so we had a great season. But experiences are happening every day for our kids, in the classrooms, outside classrooms. I've been fortunate enough to see the rigor rise every year, and each and every time I'm in a classroom, I get to see some pretty special experiences happening for our kids. And it's becoming more widespread. And so it's really powerful to see them in action. And, what's also been great is that we have different types of experiences for our kids that continue to grow. I think I've mentioned to you about the STEM experience for our girls. We've had, which Sam actually led, Miss Sam's led a group over there, and it was a really cool experience. I got to go witness them using drones, technology, and programming it in Python, which is tough to do, and then finding these animals, they weren't live animals, but as if they were, in distress, and trying to figure out how to locate them and pull them out of these terrible natural circumstances. So that was another example. But it's been really amazing, and to see our leadership really excited. I haven't formally introduced at our board meeting yet, so I'll go ahead. Tyler Reed, if you please stand. He is our new interim principal at Frankfort High School. So big
Nice.
round. He's come right in and doing a a great job, and I'm just excited and thrilled to have him. And he's taken the baton and just rolling with it. Is there anything you want to say? I know it's kind of on the spot, but
No, just building on everything we've been doing. I'm building on what you're saying. Right now, we've got a great opportunity coming up for our sophomores to work on the legislative process. So Monday, we'll be headed to the state capitol to sit in the House and sit in it at 9 a.m. If y'all are free, come down and see our sophomores work on the legislative process.
it's great. And Sam is still rocking it out. She's making some incredible decisions for our kids. Very, very solid on her leadership, and I try to coach her. She coaches me. I'm learning a lot from her as well. But we've got a great team, and so just excited about the leadership and where we're headed.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go into closed session. If we get a motion to go into closed session according to KRS 61-810-1B, deliberations on the future acquisition or sale of real property by a public agency, but only when publicity would be likely to affect the value of a specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by a public agency. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And we will go into closed session.